traditional cricket fans that I know who won't watch the BBL will watch the women's BBL because they feel as though somehow the players are playing for the right reasons, that they're excited and they're innocent and jubilant and in love with cricket, that they've introduced a kind of a lost innocence to the game that cricket was in danger of losing touch with.
The way that the whole competition took off in that first summer, I think really blew away everyone and really exceeded everyone's expectations.
The first recorded women's cricket match was played in 1745 in England. The first women's test match was played in 1934 between Australia and England in Brisbane. The first Women's World Cup was played in 1973, 2 years before the inaugural Cricket World Cup for men. Still, through the centuries, women's cricket has survived on the fringes of the sport, hidden away far beyond the boundary. Until 2015, when Cricket Australia unveiled the inaugural Women's Big Bash League.
In some respects, the women's BBL was a little bit late coming on the scene. We'd had the BBL from 2011. It had already been proved a successful formula for captivating the public.
The most ambitious part of Cricket Australia's plan was that the Women's League would mirror the Men's League, the same 8 franchises, the biggest names in international cricket. This wasn't being structured as a sideshow or an exhibition. This was a part of the main offering.
The scene was really set. They'd made so many big strides in selling the Big Bash to the public already through the men's game that the logical next step was to just basically mirror the men's teams, bring in the women's teams, and just kind of meld them together and sell them as one product.
There was a participation base waiting to be energised, that was waiting to see role models, that was waiting to see in that competition the sense of a wider world, because we did not only get the best of the Australian women playing in that competition. Unlike the BBL, we have all the best players from around the world, so it was a genuine showcase of the best of women's cricket talent.
Early scepticism was quickly replaced by genuine excitement. Instead of being blinded by the spotlight, women's cricket revelled in it. The superstars of the women's game, from Elise Perry to Charlotte Edwards to Meg Lanning to Susie Bates, had a platform to showcase all that was great about women's cricket. What also worked structurally was the double headers, with the women's matches being played right before the men clashed, showcasing the game to a captive audience that otherwise may not have turned up.
And I think people were just surprised all of a sudden to see how good women's cricket could be, and how not only was it good, but it was also different in an exciting way. It was distinguishable from men's cricket. It was like men's cricket in some ways, but interestingly different and characterful and exciting and joyful and expressive in the tradition of the best kind of sport.
The success of that first edition, won by Sydney Thunder, can be gauged by Channel 10's coverage plan. With Cricket Australia offsetting production costs, the broadcaster were to beam 8 games live on their secondary channel. That at least was the plan.
Something happened though. They broadcast the matches on the secondary channel for the women, and then they would broadcast the men's on their main channel. But the ratings were so fantastic for the women's games that all of a sudden they started switching the games onto the main channel.
The ratings were comparable to those of the Men's Football League, with nearly 150,000 viewers on average.
And then Channel 10, they basically scheduled an extra couple of games that weren't going to be offset by Cricket Australia. So you went from having something that they were almost being paid to broadcast to something that they were paying to broadcast.
For cricketers themselves, this was a game changer, with the success of the Big Bash providing a template for others to follow. If you liked what you just saw and want more, click here to subscribe.